As you remember, I'm Wayne Ysaguirre, President and CEO of Associated, though when you were in child care centers, I was a program assistant back then.
That's right.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
That's right. I am Justin Vargas, and I attended Associated Child Care back when I was an infant, I want to say, or less.
No, I think you were. I think you were 6 months old when your mother talked me into enrolling you in Associated, in Ruggles, the Ruggles Center back then. No,
Right.
the Gilday Center back then, yeah.
Was that the one in Mission, Maine?
That was,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the one for infants and toddlers only. And for kids who had suffered abuse or neglect, which was not you, but it was the only center in Mission, Maine, and it was right near your house. So your mother convinced me to convince the president and CEO of Associated at that time to let you into that center so she'd have childcare so she could go to work. Now, what do you remember about being an Associated, either at Gilday or at Ruggles later on?
Such as class times, or like...
Whatever pops into your mind.
I remember there was this one classroom that it had almost like a loft in it. For some reason, this is what I remember. This one classroom with a loft straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And during nap time, some kids were chosen to take naps in the loft, and the other kids had to sleep on the cots on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And I was never chosen to sleep in the loft.
Yeah.
I always wanted to. And did we have a hamster? Something?
We did have. There was a hamster in one of the classrooms at the entrance of Ruggles, which was the classroom you were in for a while. And that may have been the one with the loft as well.
Yeah.
Though for us, that was just a play structure to get kids to go upstairs. I didn't realize that it was a preferred.
Yeah, it was definitely preferred.
It was a preferred sleep location.
I wasn't part of those kids.
Now I remember your mom being the most protective. Well, that's not even just the word I'm looking for, but like. She was a fighter for you and your brother, Jonathan. In fact, I remember quite clearly, I make a speech about this quite often, actually, because I remember quite clearly, it was my job to help your mom find a child care voucher, keep that voucher so she could have you and Jonathan in child care. But she would come to me and she would ask me to call her work because they wanted her to work hours that wouldn't mesh with picking up you and Jonathan. She would ask me to call housing for various reasons. Like, she was demanding that I help her with various things because I knew how to navigate those systems. And I remember once saying to her, Luce, I've done, like, there was a particular difficult time. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I remember saying to her, I've done all I can. And she says, that's just not good enough, Wayne. And I remember that because that informed me, my behavior for years to come. What do you remember of your mom during those days?
I feel like a lot of that was behind the scenes, from me at least.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't witness a lot of that, but I definitely have heard of this before.
Uh-huh.
That wouldn't surprise me if that's what she had done, because she's still like that to this day with me. So.
What do you mean?
Well, with just different things that that I want to get done, that if I feel like I can't, she would say no. No, you want to do it, so do it. You know, it's not as much as you can get done. It's get what you want to get done. It's not a halfway point. So
Yes.
she'd always push me to go further, and that right there proves that what you had said back when I was little makes a lot of sense, because she hasn't changed much.
She pushed me to make sure that I did what I could do.
So I did culinary arts in high school, and in my junior year of high school, I got accepted to Johnson Wales as an early acceptance. So from then on, senior year came around, and my first time I ever had to take summer school was my senior year of high school, and that was heartbreaking because I couldn't walk with my friends, I couldn't do all that stuff, and it wasn't like we gave up right there. Of course,
Yeah.
me, my mom,
Yes.
the chef,
Uh-huh.
we all went to everybody, as if she did to you
Yeah,
back
yeah.
when I was, you know, an infant or toddler.
Yeah.
And we went to everybody. We went to the highest person in Weymouth in charge of the school system.
Uh-huh.
What would that be?
Superintendent.
The
probably?
superintendent.
Yeah.
We went step by step all the way up, and they wouldn't allow me to walk.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to walk and receive nothing as long as I got to walk.
Walk
And-
with your friends.
Right, and
Yeah.
so that wasn't the case. At that point, this was probably April, and I graduated, supposed to graduate in May,
Mhm.
and it ran through my head. I'm like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I got accepted at Johnson Wales my junior year. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know? So at that point, I sucked it up. I'm like, okay, I can't graduate. I have to do summer school, which I did, pass with flying colors, of course.
Good.
I mean, I had a slight case of senioritis, is what happened, but
Uh-huh.
never will that happen again.
Yeah.
And
You persevered.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did. So, long story short, Johnson Wales, I ended up going
Mhm.
in the fall. So
Mhm.
I did summer school, went right to Johnson Wales. It didn't affect my acceptance, which
Mhm.
was a good thing. And I graduated 4 years later on time with my bachelor's degree in culinary arts and food service management, with
Mhm.
concentrations in resort management, culinary capstone labs, and psychology.
And psychology.
And psychology. So, graduating on time
Uh-huh.
with an extra concentration
Mhm.
underneath my belt.
Mhm.
Doing that made me feel much better about not graduating high school on time. So I was like, you know what, I did college on time.
You did
And I walked
indeed.
for the first time. You were there.
I remember
You
your
were
mother.
there.
You and your mother invited me to come to that.
That's right, of course. Why wouldn't we?
So you graduated Johnson and Wales. Tell me what you're doing now and where you are.
Right now, I'm at the Ritz-Carlton in Boston.
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you. I cook. I'm doing garmage, which is cold foods.
Mhm.
It translates to cold kitchen.
Mhm.
And what I'm doing is I'm actually responsible for. I wouldn't say in charge of, because
Mhm.
if changes come along, I need to change.
Mhm.
If the chefs tell me.
Well, there's
to.
probably there's a chef above all of everyone
course.
else, as there
So-
should be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I am responsible for the club lounge food, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's an assortment of items for all of those,
Mhm.
which in my eyes, I kind of look at it as I have 3 banquets a day
Mhm.
for anywhere between 15 to could be 75 people.
Mhm.
Get an occupancy report to tell me that, and I provide the food for it. So it's cold foods. It's potato salad,
Yeah.
pasta salads, and little things like that. Different kinds of cheeses and mini
Mhm.
salads and crudité, stuff like that.
Yeah.
As well as carvings and
Yeah.
fruit and vegetable
Yeah.
arrangements.
And you enjoy working at where is it again?
The Ritz-Carlton.
The Ritz-Carlton.
Yes.
I love saying that.
I know.
Ritz-Carlton.
The Ritz-Carlton. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
The people I work with, my job, I love it all.
Now, where do you see yourself in a few years? What are your dreams moving forward?
A few years. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I would say within 9 to 10 years.
Mhm.
So I'd be 30, 31.
Still
30.
young.
Still young. Be about 30s. I would love to be either second in charge of the kitchen or first in charge, which would be executive sous chef,
Mhm.
or chef de cuisine, if you will, or
Mhm.
executive chef of
Mhm.
a Ritz-Carlton in general.
Good dream.
That is.
Like you did with school, like your mom did with you. It's a matter of setting that goal and
Exactly.
striving for it. I have no doubt you'll get it.
I hope I do. I hope. Only time will tell.
Yeah. Well, you've overcome a lot since the days of your mother twisting my arm to putting you in a child care center with kids who've been abused and neglected. Whether it's being bused to school in the MECA program, going to college. I know that was a big deal. When I went to the graduation, I remember you had family members from all over coming to celebrate. The young one who graduated from college.
The first one.
And now working, the first one, and now working at a top restaurant in Boston. That's a lot you've accomplished in your young,
Thank you.
22
22.
years.
22.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And thank you for coming and talking to me and telling me a little bit about what one of our graduates are doing.
Of course. My pleasure.
Wonderful. We'll keep in touch.
Awesome.
Excellent.